And we're live to talk about style and confidence with the lovely Keren Beaumont from Keren Beaumont Styling. Keren is a fantastic personal stylist who worked for Ralph Lauren. She also worked for Coach, and she's been a contributor. Well, she is a contributor to Grazia, and I've written down also Good Housekeeping UK and Yahoo Style. She's fantastic personal stylist. I've used her, and I cannot wait to share her with you. And she hasn't joined yet, so I'll be waiting for her to join. And I'll try to request her. Let's see. Yes, I'm sending. So Keren can come and share her expertise on confidence and style. Keren, you here? Can you hear me?
Yes, hi, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you very well, very well. And are you able to go a bit more back your phone so we can see you perfectly? Just a bit more. Yes, we can see you a bit better. Otherwise, you're too close. Excellent. It's so nice. It's so nice for you to join us, and we're joined by quite a few people. Thank you for joining, Simona, Jennifer. We have Sophie as well. We have Michelle. Hi everyone for joining. Thanks for joining. So, yes, style and confidence, Keren. I don't know. I was thinking how to start this interview, and we've been exchanging ideas back and forth throughout the week. And I thought the best way to start was exactly how we got to know each other. We met at a networking group and we started exchanging our, the services that we did. And I'll be very frank with you initially. I thought, the personal stylist was kind of somebody who would know about what are the latest things to acquire and who would go with you and go to the shops and get those items with you and buy with you. But I was so surprised, when we sat down together and you had this extensive questionnaire and it was all about trying to understand, okay, who was I representing myself in front of, who was kind of my audience and all that. And it wasn't about, okay, let's look at your wardrobe right now and let's see what you can get rid of or not. It was about trying to truly understand my identity. I don't want to jump into all the things that you're going to say and tell us about, but I just wanted to clarify that I had a misconception about that job, that profession, personal stylist. And I'd love to hear from you, if that's something that is quite common, and how do you tackle that? How do you explain what you do to your clients?
Yeah, I mean, great question, and I think fantastic way to start. So, a lot of people, when they find out what I do want to know exactly what it means. And my strap line, and those who know me well have heard this before. I always say that fashion does not equal good style, but good style will always be in fashion. And by that, I mean good style is knowing who you are and how you want to represent that visually. It's knowing your colors and knowing your shapes. So being in fashion and keeping up with trends doesn't necessarily mean you're going to look stylish. And that's what I focus on, is making sure that people have a sense of correctness to not just their color and shape, but they feel like they're comfortable in their own skin. They look like they can get dressed in the morning and then forget about what they're wearing because they're so at home in the style that they're wearing. And I think that's a big difference between the way I work and perhaps other stylists who are all about getting somebody into the current trend, or just doing a wardrobe edit to say, look, this stuff is not currently in fashion, and maybe do a bit of color analysis, but it's more of a 360-degree service that I do. Yeah, so that's probably how I would describe it.
I mean, what you just said is, I try to find an analogy with what I do, and I find that there's quite a few actually when we work together. But there's a big difference when you're in coaching and you and you coach somebody who doesn't have a very good perception of themselves. And very often there's a confusion here between their worth, their self-acceptance, and their self-esteem in trying to get to the next level and trying and wanting more and more and more. And the analogy I see here is that what you do is something that is durable, that is really very much linked to the identity of the person, of the individual, which doesn't have expiry date, right? Because knowing yourself is core to everything. And then you have the self-esteem, which will be more linked to, okay, if I have this latest if I have this latest top or I don't know, jeans, if I wear it this way, etc., then I'm actually showing that I'm my esteem is going higher. So there's this difference, this distinction, and it feels that we're working towards that identity side of thing. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. So I think that when a person understands exactly how they want to be perceived, how they want to come across, and is really in tune with who they are and their values, then the next step is to really convert that into a visual message. So style is a silent language. And from the minute that you're visible to other people, you're communicating something about yourself, what kind of person you are, what you're into. It gives you sort of a flavor of who the person is. And this all happens at such a subconscious level. It's an absolutely non-verbal communication. And so that, of course, explains how important it is to get the right first impression, to give the right first impression. But I think that what you're alluding to more is how can that give us confidence? So we would never want to wait up until the last minute of an event coming up or an interview coming up. This is something we would want to do like way in advance, something that is practical and useful to every aspect of our life, not just for this one event that we may be preparing for. So I think, what we would do to give ourselves confidence that we look good and we represent ourselves in the way we want to come across is by getting clarity on your personal brand initially and knowing what your colors are, having a color analysis done if you're not sure, and also, getting some clarity around what body type you are and what kind of cuts would suit you. And all of those things combined should help you to be able to collate a really strong capsule that's correct for your personal brand color and body shape, which you can pull out for any occasion that comes up. So a really, really powerful capsule wardrobe will cater to every event that may happen in your life, right? Not just the one thing that's coming up. So you're prepared way in advance. So I guess like with your coaching work, you're not coaching somebody to go to one particular event. You're preparing them to be confident in life in general. And it's exactly the same with the wardrobe. If somebody was going to start looking into their personal brand, what I would suggest you do first of all is to consider who you're visible to. So we've said, by the way you dress, your style is a non-verbal language. So first of all, if you're going to write copy, let's say for a website, you would think about who you're writing to. It's exactly the same with your style. So think about who you're visible to. It could be anything from your family and friends, to clients, to business partners, networking contacts, colleagues, whatever it may be. And write a list of those people and then ask yourself the question, if they were to describe me, how would I love those people to describe me? And have a really good think about what kind of words they would be using. Then take those words and think about what does a person who has those qualities typically look like. So let's take 3 really clear examples there. One would be, if you're using words like professional, credible, knowledgeable, these all go into sort of an overall bucket, let's say, of credibility. What does the most credible person look like, stereotypically, the most professional person? Probably quite clean dressed, neat and tidy, relatively groomed, probably clean edges to some extent, clear colors, some crispness and neatness to the style, yes? But probably not that approachable if we were going to go all the way to the furthest end of that stereotypical spectrum. If you're using words like approachable, easy to be with, a good listener, that kind of thing, then those would probably take you in a slightly different direction stylistically, such as you'd bring in elements of softness, perhaps some color that's less harsh, perhaps there'd be rounded edges to the jewelry, the accessories, or even the prints and patterns that you include. Perhaps your hair wouldn't be as severely styled, perhaps it would have some softness to it, which gives a subconscious message of approachability and softness and possibly even warmth. Most people don't lie at one end of the spectrum or the other. They're somewhere in between. So what we would want to figure out for you is, where do you lie on that spectrum? How much of the softness do you need? How much of the crispness do you need in that look? And then there's all the elements of your personality, what makes you distinctly you. There'd be probably something in your look that's unique to you that really sets you apart from the person next to you. And it doesn't mean it has to be all the way out there, quirky and edgy, but something that feels like you. And that's the part I think that also gives you a lot of confidence. This is me, I know who I am, and this is what I love, and I somehow incorporate this element into all my outfits, whether I'm in my casual mode or my smart mode. It's always there. It's this underlying vibe that makes your look truly you. So that's really where I would start with that. And of course, the colors and the shapes, knowing that is something you have to layer on top of the personal brand, because you can't do just the personal brand and not know the correct colors and shapes. In the same vein, you can't just do the color and shape and not have your personal style, personal brand sorted. It's got to be a mix of the both. And that will give you absolute confidence, not just in shopping and making good decisions about what you buy. Because honestly, a lot of my clients come to me with absolutely zero confidence that they know what to buy, and they just get confused when they go shopping. But also, once they've bought that, it's absolute confidence that when they step out the door in the morning, or when they switch on their Zoom screen, they know that what they're wearing and what the way they're visible is correct. And once they get on screen, they don't have to think about it anymore. And this is a point that you made, Tanya, I think, something that's come from your previous sessions, is once you're on your Zoom session, or once you're in your meeting, you shouldn't be thinking about what you wear. That's done, put it out of your mind. And it's absolutely synonymous with the way that I work. I'm preparing people to go out into the world, to be ready for life, and to feel really confident in the way they look every day, not just for that one occasion.
Yeah, yes. And when I started working with you, and we've got quite a few people that have joined, thanks for joining, everyone. We're talking about style and confidence. And if you have, shoot your questions away, Karen is there to answer them, and so am I. But when I started working with you, I remember that, you know, what was so important to me as a mom, working mom, going out as well in the evenings, is that what I want to, the things that I want to broadcast to my audience, even if it's a small audience, are different from one person to another, whether it's my husband, my friends, my networking group, my clients. But somehow you manage to find a way that we can tick the boxes of each individual people that will be on the other side. And you know, in the morning you don't have to be thinking too much about what you're going to wear, because it's already kind of sorted for you in some way. Of course, it's going to be something that you like, but it does make a difference in the morning, not having to think that if you've made the right choice for your skin tone, for your body shape, for the image that you want to represent, for the identity that you want to show. So it's very much, it's not about having the last piece of item, but it's about not having this, it's about having this peace of mind that you don't have to think about it twice in the morning. And so that gives you the confidence that you can discard having to think about what you're going to wear during the day, because you've already acknowledged that these were the things that suit you. So I remember for me, it was certain colors, certain tones, not very bright colors, but certain patterns also. I never was ambitious enough to wear certain patterns because I didn't think they would suit me, but then you would know exactly what type of patterns and with what kind of colors would suit me. A jacket to wear on top of a t-shirt when you are with a client that you can remove, and the type of shoes that would be actually comfortable. So it's more than just a purchasing idea. It's very much about making your life easier if you're working, if you're a mom, etc. And that's also something that gives you confidence, having this peace of mind, having something already sorted out for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you know, it's interesting also. A lot of clients come to me just kind of feeling a sense of imposter syndrome in their work. They've perhaps returned from maternity or have been back at work for a while. And now that the kids are in full-time education, they're looking for a more senior role, or they're being promoted as they go back. And they're feeling, you know, the clothes that they're wearing don't do justice to the potential they know they have. And it really can inhibit one's confidence. So actually to have the look of the person you believe you are and know yourself to be capable of being means you can walk into that work environment feeling super, super confident as well. And it really helps with dealing with some of that imposter syndrome. I honestly believe in dress the person you want to be. It really works, because the thing is it's not just about what other people feel. We tell ourselves stories about ourselves. So when we look in the mirror, we start to absorb information about what we see. So particularly during lockdown, like a lot of us have been kind of slumming it in tracksuits and things. I know I've definitely done that on certain days. But if you do that day after day after day, which often happens to women during their maternity leaves, because reality is you can't dress up when you're looking after a vomiting baby. That's the reality. You start to think of yourself in a different way. So what you see in the mirror yourself is really, really important in terms of your own self-image as well.
Yeah, yes, that theme of imposter syndrome is coming, well, comes very often with my clients, and we have to clarify that imposter syndrome is a psychological term that they're people that have all the qualifications, they've done all the training and everything, but despite that they feel like they're an imposter. They feel that they're a failure, right? When they're in a room of people that have got this, they have the same qualification as them. And what you're saying about the way you look, it's again and the impression that you're going to make coming back from maternity leave, it's again this idea of your esteem, your self-esteem has been impacted, and it's impacting your self-worth, right? So by actually giving them by helping them practice and preparing for what they want to look like, you're helping you're helping them going back to their worth, because sometimes it's as easy as the way you perceive yourself, from the outside, but it goes in the internal as well. It's as easy as that, right? And because I guess your clients have different shapes and forms, right? You don't have a particular type. You coach everybody, right? So I'm wondering, if someone comes with zero confidence on the way they look, and they're unhappy about how they look, whether it's after having a baby or just in general, which has happened to me, because they feel they're overweight and things like that. How do you help them embrace the way they look, help them accept themselves?
Yeah, oh,
The
I
way
love
they
that.
are.
I love that question. Okay, so one of the things that I've realized gives me quite a lot of pleasure in the work that I do is looking for something beautiful in every single client that I meet. Now, I actually genuinely see so many of my clients as beautiful. That's the way I see them. And hopefully I can help them to see the things that I see in them. It may be shape, it may be color, it could be something in their personality, a sparkle in the eyes, whatever it is, some factor that they really need to see in themselves. And it's different in every single client as to what that is. Now, look, as well as the personal brand stuff, I have a really technical training in how to make the most of every single body shape that exists, and how to bring the most out of your natural coloring, such that when you wear your, what I call to be your best colors or hero colors, you don't even need to wear makeup, right? Because it's doing all the work for you. It's bringing out the color of your eyes. It's making the most of your complexion. It's bringing out the highlights in your hair, if it's that kind of hair that you have. So there's not one answer fits all, but what I do is, if there are areas of their body where they're, you know, feeling particularly lacking in confidence, we don't draw attention to those areas. We work on the areas that I said that I picked out as being the areas of beauty in that person, and we draw the eye there. So let's say somebody's carrying a lot around the middle, right? Extra weight. If we've got really good calves and, you know, really, really slim lower legs, then we would do a lot of things with the footwear to draw the eye downwards. We'd probably put them into a very slim fitting jean or shorter skirts above the knee so that you draw the eye downwards. Or it might be that they've got gorgeous shoulders or a really nice, you know, neck and collar. So we put beautiful necklaces here, earrings to draw the eye up, open up the shirt collar. So it's different for every client, but the point is to see the areas of beauty in the person, to draw the eye to there, and to take the eye away from the area where they really don't want people drawing attention. I want to give just one example though, is I get probably 70% of my clients telling me they don't like their hips and their bum. And they wear these tops that are kind of long and cut across the hip area. So the hemline finishes across their hips or their upper thighs. Where you cut an outfit into two between the top and the bottom is where the eye goes. So what they're actually doing, without being being completely oblivious of it, they are drawing the eye to their hip area. And it's actually better for them to wear something tucked in at the waist, and I show them how to style that so that they don't feel the tummy sticking out. So it's very, very,
Love that.
very interesting.
Oh yeah, you really, exactly, you really, small details make a massive difference, and you really managed to easily show us that. You have, with me at least, there were a lot of things that I didn't think, you know, I would need any like much advice, because I thought, you know, I was just following certain trends, but actually I had to change a lot of things, and I had just returned from maternity as well at that stage, and my wardrobe was a disaster. But I remember that, you know, a few changes, taking away what you can control, the practice and preparation, you know, to build your confidence. That's one of the important things, is how you want people to perceive you and what you're going to wear. Just take that away from you, that decision making, right? And because you are clearer on your identity, it's easier to make decisions. You're more confident in making decisions. I'm not saying you're perfect at making decisions, but you're more confident at it. And I think that's the goal, is to be clear on your values, identity. Therefore, you're clearer on what you want and your decisions, and that includes your wardrobe. So that, I love that. We've got a few comments here. Let's read them. We have Nadia saying, I enjoy wearing short dresses in the summer. I'm 60 and very slim. I feel confident in them. That's great to hear. Is this ring? I don't know if does that mean something? Is this ring, or that's maybe a typo?
I wonder if it means, is that wrong?
All right.
Questioning if it's the right thing to do. Oh, Nadia, no, wear them. If you're in good shape. Age is a number. Who cares if you're 60 or if you're 80 or if you're 40? What difference does it make? If you look good in the short dress and you've got good legs, go ahead and wear them. Because there may actually come a day where you actually say, you know what, my legs have reached the end of their capability, so keep doing it while you can. No, I don't believe that. I think, you know, the other thing is who's your audience? Where are you going? You know, if you're going to go, if somebody said to me they're going in a mini dress that's low cut at the front into a corporate office, okay, perhaps there's some situational inappropriateness there. But if the way you're dressing, Nadia, is appropriate to your lifestyle, where you're going and who you're seeing, of course there's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely go for it.
Love that question. We have Morena also saying that my idea of a capsule wardrobe is that it might look like I'm wearing something which is not on trend. I love keeping up with trends, although I like to personalize them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, trends are fun. I mean, if the trend comes along that you love, it can be incorporated into your brand, right? I think to buy into a trend and actually invest in it, I would make sure that you're really in love with it and that it ticks all the boxes. So does it fit your personal brand? Is it in line with your values? Is it in line with how you see yourself and who you want to be perceived as being? Does it fit in terms of your body shape and the cuts that you should wear? If the answer is yes to all of that, do it. If it's a color, does it fit your color palette? Right? A capsule wardrobe doesn't have to be boring, if that's kind of what you're getting at with that. You could have great quality basics with interesting cuts that are all kind of classics with a twist. So a white shirt, for example, could have a really interesting fit, like an extra wide collar, or it could have asymmetrical hem, right? If that's part of your brand, is to have that slight eccentricity or quirkiness, then that's what you would do in your capsule as well. It would flow through to your capsule wardrobe. But the point of the capsule is to have a good base of pieces so that you have something to wear to any event that may crop up in your life. And that's all it is. It doesn't mean, you know, bog standard basics that are unadventurous and boring.
And that reminds me of a question that we received before this interview, which was if there was one item that we could have that would boost our confidence straight away in fashion, would there be one? I think that was how it was phrased by Alex.
Yeah, it's a nice question because it kind of makes me come back to what I was saying before, is that it's going to be different for everybody. The makeup of a capsule for everybody will also be different. So the items that people should own are those that are correct for their personal brand and body shape, right? So knowing that, what are the items that you wear the most, that you're most dependent of? If you wear jeans every day of the week, then actually having a perfect fitting pair of jeans is going to be probably the most confidence building piece you could have. If you are the kind of person whose first impression is always in their outerwear because you have to travel from meeting to meeting, so the first time someone sees you, you're wearing your coat, then actually having an amazing coat is going to be the best thing to wear. If actually you're, you know, not so comfortable with your size right now and you're kind of deflecting away from the core of the body, then actually having amazing jewelry or an amazing bag is going to make you feel $1 million, right? Even if you are wearing something that's not drawing attention to the core of your body. So it would be different in every case. But yes, having something that's perfect for your brand, color, and body shape is what's going to give you confidence.
I love that. I love that concept that our comfort zone, each of us comfort zone is completely different, right? And yesterday there was a Q&A about confidence. I was attending a workshop, and one of the questions was, you know, where is your comfort level when it comes to those items? So one was swimming in the deep ocean, and another one was, I don't remember, climbing very high altitudes, and the other one was about leaving your phone behind for a week and not having your phone. And I remember that for me, the phone was so, like, I was feeling stressed by just thinking about the idea that I was leaving my phone behind. But that tells you how,
as you were saying it.
exactly. So like your comfort zone is different, and the same applies to that. If for you owning feeling that you have a nice jean that's fitting yourself well is what makes you feel more confident in some way, then that is where you have to put your focus on, definitely. And we have Jennifer saying, since maternity and COVID, work from home, I have lost my love for beautiful wardrobe. Yeah, we want to talk about what's you know, what COVID has meant for your clients and everything going on Zoom. Wearing leggings every day, I'm feeling so bad about it.
Yeah, do you know what I think the biggest knock-on effect is going to be for all of us is getting used to wearing a non-elasticated waistband. Like getting back into jeans. So I've been trying to retrain myself to wear jeans again. Also, like Jennifer, I had a baby 7 months ago. So, you know, the tummy area is obviously a bit more sensitive, probably for a good year afterwards. But I'm trying to retrain myself. So, I mean, jeans, to be honest, the high waist jeans were never as comfortable as waist, you know, elasticated waistbands, right? But now I'm completely out of practice. So it's about getting back into it. So when you put them on in the morning, it doesn't feel strange anymore. So I think we're going to have to retrain ourselves. But yeah, there are a couple of tips that I could definitely share, some quick tips for the fact that we're all working on Zoom at the moment. So
Yeah.
all of the things that we spoke about, brand, color, etc., you will need to get that across from here upwards. I mean, what you can see is me basically from my chest upwards, and we have to contain and represent our entire personal brand in that space. So you may have in the past worn, let's say, relied on funky shoes or print trousers with a simple top, whatever it may be, that was your little touch of detail that made you you. You have to do that in a smaller space now. So thinking about things like jewelry, throwing on a bit of lipstick, print that you may use from the neck upwards is basically what you want to look at. Lighting, so important. Always sit yourself with a window opposite you, never behind you. And if you can't do that, a daylight lamp is really useful. But if you're going to use the daylight lamp, shut the curtain behind you, right? Because you don't want light coming through behind. That's not going to help. Use your screen of whatever device you're using as a mirror. So before you get on the call, launch your own Zoom meeting or use the camera device on your thing to take a mirror view of yourself so you can see on video how you look and make sure everything's in check before you click start. And then you know that you're good and you don't need to think about it. If you are uncomfortable with looking at your reflection and it's distracting to you, I think on Zoom you can turn off the self view as well, so you don't have to see yourself, and that can help a lot. Then you're just not thinking about it. That's really useful. But at the moment, I mean, what I'm doing with clients is preparing them for coming out of lockdown. We're all working on more capsule wardrobes with longevity, because this is not a permanent situation, thank goodness. And so it's all about what you're going to wear when you go back out into the world.
So people are looking forward to kind of, they want to think about what's next, kind of preparing for the next holidays. What is the next thing they might go and purchase to come out of lockdown?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be different for everybody, but what I'm seeing and what I'm doing a lot of at the moment is just revamping the core of people's wardrobes. So what people are really looking for at the moment are pieces that are timeless, that have longevity. But, you know, going back to Morena's question, it doesn't mean that those pieces are boring. It just means that they have a longer lifespan than something that's just on trend at the moment. And interestingly, like, that's not, people aren't asking me about trend. It's just not the thing they're asking. They say, what suits me? What's going to make me look my best? Because they know that's what's going to give them confidence. And the thing is, we've all been locked in our homes for a year now. We've all had time to, you know, think about this a lot and realize that actually something may be amiss, and we've just been kind of brushing past it for the last few years. And now it's kind of like, okay, if I'm going to come out of here again into the real world, probably this.
Yeah, it's been a journey for people who've had to do all their interviews online and their webinars online. And when I've coached a few of them that have had to do interviews, it was raised, you know, on how important it was to look their best as well, you know, to have the best lighting, because the impression is within seconds. It is, I think, I don't know the exact science of it, but I know that it's shorter than in person, and it's very quick. So you have to kind of be prepared for that. Not obsessing about it. Once you've made your decision, this is the way you look. And that's what Rumana was saying. The TV anchor of my last interview that we spoke about, she said, there's something that you have to be clear about. The way you look is the way you look. Just do your best, wear whatever suits you most, have the best lighting, the best makeup possible. Once it's done, it's done. You have to go and just show what you know and do your job, and stop obsessing about this, because that's key. And I think that's again what we were talking about. Practice and preparing, helping confidence, but then you've got to act and you've got to do what you're meant to be doing. And because confidence comes from outside also, it's also an external as well as an internal process. We've had also some comments from Jennifer saying, congratulations on your baby. Morena is saying that she felt the same about leggings during COVID, and we need post-COVID jeans, almost like maternity jeans. Yes, yes, indeed. Thanks everyone for joining. I wanted to also say that Keren has fantastic workshops that she's doing online right now about this identifying your personal brand. And you want to talk about these to the audience and see if they can connect with you and access those workshops.
Of course. So they're just a really nice way of getting some in-person styling support without kind of booking a one-to-one session. So they've been super popular, and I cap the numbers to keep them at a small group so that I can actually give each person answers to their questions in the session. The next one that's coming up is the 22nd of April, which is how to build a capsule wardrobe. So this is where we do the whole lifestyle and audience analysis for you guys to build up a list of what should be in your wardrobe. 20th of May is how to edit your wardrobe, which is like my signature class where we talk about what colors you should wear, what cuts you should wear for your body shape, and I show you how to analyze that for yourself, to work it out for yourself, and then how to go through your wardrobe and make sure you've only got in there what is correct for you. And then the 17th of June is how to define your personal brand. So that's the whole piece around what actually does your signature style look like, and we create mood boards for yourself to represent your personal brand. So yeah, on my Insta page there's a link to all those classes because you're not going to remember all that. But
I'm gonna put them in the stories. And yes, on your bio there's a link with all of these workshops, and I highly recommend attending them. And we've got Sarah saying the same thing. Highly recommended workshops. Honestly, they're not too long, and you ask the right questions when it comes to defining your value and what matters the most. Yeah, and I can't wait for us to meet again so we can go on a shopping trip again.
And likewise, looking forward to my next coaching session. It's time in August when Theodore goes to nursery.
Yes.
And
exactly. Thanks everyone for joining. Please get in touch with us if you have more questions. Thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone.
Bye Keren.
Bye.
Yes, I was reading your notes here. Love to do one of your workshops. Thank you. Love the advice. Thanks everyone for joining. I love Keren. I just like the way she presents things, and how she's very tied into, understanding your identity rather than getting and shopping, for the latest piece, but something that will truly be useful to you, and understanding yourself to kind of increase and boost your confidence. I'll see you very soon, hopefully. Bye.